Can Sami Zayn do the unthinkable and defeat Gunther twice in 1 year, this time for the World Heavyweight Championship? He had his chance to answer that question tonight on Raw as he challenged the Reign General in a hotly anticipated main event. That match capped off a show that featured the fallout from Bad Blood, Xavier Woods' quest for singles gold as he challenged Jey Uso for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, and the latest chapter in the rivalry between Sheamus and Pete Dunne. Who emerged victoriously, and what did Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre all have to say on the first 2-hour episode of Raw since July of 2012? Find out now with this recap of Monday Night Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Hey there, welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streaming.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher, and of course the phenom Michael Bullock. Bullock and I fresh off another one of our legendary Raw chats as always, and don't adjust folks, because, well, I know you're saying, wait a minute, it's not 11 yet. What are you guys doing here? Well, starting tonight and for the rest of this calendar year, we're going to be coming at you. This is our new start time for Ridiculously Raw until possibly the new year when Raw moves to Netflix. But for the rest of this year, we're going to be starting the show right around this time. So, little disclaimer. Tonight, it's all about Monday Night Raw, and then I will have an abbreviated Tony's Take. I'll explain why when we get to it. But first, let's dive right on into Monday Night Raw. Live tonight from the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri, the home of the NHL St. Louis Blues. And we started off with a promo segment. Well, actually, two promo segments for the price of one. CM Punk, he addressed the fans from the stage, from the entrance stage. He addressed the fans, and then we also had Seth freaking Rollins. From inside the ring, addressing, Big Bronson Reed, and then that brought out main event Jey Uso. But we'll get into that in just a moment. But CM Punk kicked off Raw a beaten, battered, but victorious man, following his war with Drew McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood Saturday night. He thanked his fans, his peers, and those who don't like him, then admitted that he was unsure of his future. Seth freaking Rollins interrupted, barely acknowledged CM Punk, and took the squared circle, where he issued a warning to Big Bronson Reed. You want to get famous? I'll give you your 15 minutes. He issued a challenge for a match with the big man before appearing annoyed that Jey Uso interrupted him as he made his way to the ring for our opening match. This was an interesting opening segment in that it gave us a not so subtle reminder that CM Punk versus Seth Rollins is the end game, but along the way, a heel turn for the latter is not out of the question. Not only did he threaten to retire CM Punk, but the dismay on his face as Jey Uso hit the ring was obvious. Perhaps Seth Rollins is fed up with the changes that have occurred in WWE since WrestleMania and ready to lash out against them. CM Punk said, "I'm alive, but it doesn't feel like it. I'm a winner, but I don't feel like one." He also said there's a thin line between love and hate, and I've turned your hate into cash. I don't know why you keep doubting me, but keep doubting me. And then Seth Rollins said, "Get well soon, because the sooner you heal up, the sooner I can beat your ass and retire you for good." Yeesh. Woof. Okay. So, sounds like some foreshadowing to me, guys. It sounds like foreshadowing for perhaps maybe for possibly WrestleMania, if all goes well. We'll wait and find out. But for right now, we still have Seth Rollins and Big Bronson Reed. My guess is November 2nd, Crown Jewel, Saudi Arabia. That would be my guess. So not much more to say on that. So, gentlemen, do you have any quick thoughts on this, MF? But the thing is, CM Punk, if you saw CM Punk there, with the way he sounded, Bullock and I were wondering, did this sound like a possible retirement promo?
I think a lot of people on the internet was thinking about it, and a lot of people kind of were thinking that this sounded like goodbye more than anything else. But I kind of feel like it's not a goodbye. I think it's kind of a I'll see you guys down the line. I kind of feel like it's not retirement, but I think we're not going to see CM Punk for, honestly, I don't think we're going to see him for the rest of 2024. I think we might see him come back about Royal Rumble, because I don't think there's really any point for Punk to come back unless he wants to fight for the World Heavyweight title. But I think there's too many contenders now for that belt, and I kind of feel like, yeah, no. So to me, honestly, I think this is kind of more Punk just needs time to heal, to regroup, because I think we all can admit it. I don't know what's going to happen with CM Punk, and I don't even know what's going to happen with Drew McIntyre for that matter, especially after that match last night, because it on Saturday night, I should say, because it looked like both men got destroyed.
And remember what you said, Fletch,
and emotionally from that fight. So
remember what you said. Neither man will ever be the same, and I don't think they will after this.
Yeah. So, truthfully, honestly, I think for Punk, I think he's done for the year. I don't think he's coming back. At least that's just my personal opinion about it. I don't think we're going to see him in I don't think we're going to see him again in 2024. So,
I kind of feel the same way too. I mean, because these two just came off of a brutal Hell in a Cell match. I mean, and let's not forget also, Punk's not getting any younger. I mean, and coming off of Hell in a Cell, and you guys saw after the match. Yes, CM Punk walked out, but remember, he collapsed. So the match really took a toll on him. So maybe I think it's just good for him that he just takes the rest of the year off to really heal up, and then come back for 2025. And then, of course, like you said, maybe you start the build for maybe CM Punk and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and you get that heel turn for Seth freaking Rollins. Even though, in my honest opinion, it would be an unpopular decision because of his popularity and with the way the crowd sings to his theme, just like me and Florio does. But I think somebody's got to turn heel, and I think Seth Rollins is going to have to be the guy. So, and yeah, Seth Rollins, is targeting Big Bronson Reed, and we know that. And I think I'm with Florio too. I even said the same thing to him, that it's going to be Crown Jewel. So nothing more to say. Let's get on to the first match of the night, and that's the first of our 2 championship matches.
And the first of our 3 big main events as well. Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion, main event, Jey Uso, making his first title defense since winning the title 2 weeks ago, defending against Xavier Woods. Winner of the match, 6 minutes and 35 seconds, and still the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. It is main event Jey Uso. MF, I'll be honest, I was expecting this match to get a little more time. I never would have thought a match with these two would have only gotten 6.5 minutes or so.
Yeah, but you also got to remember, 2-hour show. The time's a little more constricted this time, and if you're trying to fill in a lot of material, especially in a 2-hour show like Monday Night Raw, get used to this, Florio. This is probably going to be happening a lot more than usual. This was about a 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star match. It was a fine bout between Xavier Woods and Jey Uso, but if you notice, after the match was over, look who showed up. Braun Breaker. And not only did he come in, but he made his intentions known. He ain't gonna be babyface yet, folks. He swerved us and absolutely speared the daylights out of Jey Uso. Kofi Kingston went in, and Xavier Woods was like, no. This has nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us. You know, we stay out of this. This has nothing to do with us. We got to stay out of it. Kofi went in to try to help, and he got speared out of his boots. And not only got speared out of his boots, but then Braun Breaker did the drive-by on him, and Xavier got out of the way. I hate to say it, but Kofi, you should have stayed out of it. I'm sorry. You had no business to stick your nose where it didn't belong. And I know you're trying to help Jey Uso, trying to be a good friend, but I hate to say it, but I'm with Xavier on this one. No business getting involved. That's between them two. Let them deal with that. That's their fight. That's their battle. You had no point and no business being involved in that. You went all cavalier trying to be the knight in shining armor, and you got what you deserve, Kofi. I'm sorry. You deserve that spear. That had nothing to do with you, bro. Nothing. 2.5 to 2 3/4. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, getting back to what Fletch said, I mean, and I even told this to Florio. I'm like, I know you're surprised about that it only got like 6.5 minutes, but like I said, it's a 2-hour show. If this was a 3-hour show, then I think it would have gotten more time. And like Fletch also said, there's only so much stuff you could fit in a 2-hour show. Just look at SmackDown. They had to do the same thing too. So I understand where Florio was coming from and that he's surprised, but the thing is, Florio, remember, it's only a 2-hour show. You can only do so much in that time. So if it's a 3-hour show, I would definitely be more on your side. But I'm with Fletch on this one. So 2.5 stars is my rating as well. And yeah, I mean, a rematch between Braun Breaker and Jey Uso's coming down the line. So nothing more to say. Florio, like I said, you and I talked about it. If this were a 3-hour show, I'd be more on your side. But remember, this is a 2-hour show. You can only cram so much into 2 hours.
Yeah, this is true. The match was shorter than expected, but showed enough of that Uso New Day chemistry to still be a solid entry into their legendary rivalry. So after showing Jey Uso respect a week ago and teasing interest in challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, Braun Breaker just goes right back to his heel ways by laying out Jey Uso. If I'm going to be honest, it felt like a creative about face for reasons that are not yet clear. Xavier Woods refused the handshake and told Kofi, yeah, he beat me. I'm not shaking his hand. And then backstage, Jackie Redmond asked Braun Breaker why the change in attitude, to which the former Intercontinental Champion answered by just simply walking away. So it is what it is. So definitely the disappointing fight of the night for sure. I was expecting a good 3.5, 4 star somewhere in that area. Only 2.5. That's the best we can go. This next match, though, definitely was not a 2.5 star match. Oh no. Next up, the good old fashioned Donnybrook match. Sheamus squaring off against Pete Dunne. Winner of the match, 12 minutes and 55 seconds. It was Sheamus. Michael Bullock, now this was more like it.
Yeah, this is exactly what you expect in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook. I'm going to give this about 3.25, 3.5 on this one. I mean, this was everything you expected in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook. I mean, we saw everything that was involved in this match. I mean, we saw a lot of weapons involved. I mean, even a white noise through 2 tables. And we saw those zip tie handcuffs, and you're thinking, oh, Sheamus is helpless. And then all of a sudden, somehow he gets the brogue kick and gets the win. So hopefully this is the end of this rivalry and they can move on to better things. So 3.25, 3.5, it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, 3.25, 3.5 stars. Sheamus and Pete Dunne wrote the latest, perhaps last chapter in their rivalry tonight in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. The hard-hitting match featuring Irish pub props such as a bar, whiskey barrels, a shillelagh, and a cricket bat rolled through a commercial break before the Celtic Warrior delivered a white noise off a stack of whiskey barrels and threw 2 tables on the floor. The match was a fun brawl, but there is a real question about the decision not to put Pete Dunne over. WWE has a bunch of strong babyfaces at this point, but heels, such as Pete Dunne and the Judgment Day, have seen recent losses cost them credibility. That trend needs to course correct before there are too many quality babyfaces and no one for them to work with. Dunne applied a crossface with a shillelagh in a spot that echoed Edge, using a piece of chair to try and force a submission from Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 37. The white noise spot was excellent and took a ton out of both guys. Kudos to them for continuing the match after that landing. 3.25, 3.5 stars. I agree with Bullock's rating. You can make an argument for fight of the night, but I think this is more around second best fight of the night honors for me. So 3.25, 3.5. MF. Sheamus knocking off Pete Dunne in the good old fashioned Donnybrook 12:55.
Yeah, this was a hell of a fight. This was a hell of a match. And yeah, 3 stars. Gentlemen, just hang on one second.
All right. Let us know when you're back in, MF, and we will all right. MF has to leave us for a moment. So with that being said, we're just gonna move on. See what we got here. Then a lot of backstage stuff, including the arrival of the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, and Raquel Rodriguez, and they just went up and left. Jackie tried to ask Raquel Rodriguez if she is a member of the Judgment Day, but Liv Morgan cut her off, and then they left. So,
yeah, we never really got the true full answer from both sides.
But there is a rumor site a daily rumor site that I read that comes out with these. They call it rumor roundups, and the one that I read today reported that Raquel Rodriguez is expected to be a member of the Judgment Day. So,
I think so too. But again, like we said last night in the recap, it won't be official until they make it official.
Right. So, and then we had a special. We had quite a few guests. I mean, the WWE champion Cody Rhodes was seen walking backstage. We're like, hey, he's on Raw. We'll explain that at the end. But also, we had another special guest, the general manager of NXT, Ava. She was having a discussion with Adam Pearce, and they were interrupted by the now former NXT champion, All Ego Ethan Page, fresh off losing the NXT championship to Trick Williams last week as part of the debut episode of NXT on the CW. Resounding success, oh, by the way. And apparently he mentioned CM Punk, and he said CM Punk cost him the NXT championship when Punk was the special guest referee. And Adam Pearce said, I did not appoint CM Punk as the special referee. So, but Ava said she was so flattered that Ethan came all the way to St. Louis to confront her. Ava said it was so sweet and she would like to hear him yap like he does every week, but she was off the clock. And Ethan asked what she was doing there. And then Sexy Red comes in, hugs Ava and Adam, and Ethan cleared his throat and offered Red a handshake. Red shook his hand and asked how he was doing. Paige said he'd done better and walked away. But anyways, we move on now. 10-woman tag team matchup. We had all 3 members of the Pure Fusion Collective, Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark, teaming up with the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and they squared off against Natalya, Lyra Valkyria, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, and Zelina Vega. And the babyface team won the match in 7 minutes and 10 seconds. So this was about another 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 star match. Action-packed, albeit short match, saw the babyfaces earn a measure of revenge with a big win. And then later, Lyra Valkyria downed Sonya Deville and scored the win for her team. The 2-hour format is much welcomed, yes. Unfortunately, that means there is talent that will see their roles reduced or time for their matches cut. This felt like one where as many competitors were put together with less time to work with, and the result was a collection of spots with no real flow or story advancement. Hopefully, it is the exception and not the rule. Katana Chance showed good fire as she continued to seek revenge for having her face busted by the heels. So the best I can give this is about 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 of a star for the effort. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this 10-woman tag?
Yeah, 2.5, 2 3/4. I mean, I thought this was a good match. I mean, it definitely could have been better in some spots, but yeah, I think the right team definitely went over here. So yeah, I guess there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on, Florio.
All right. And of course, before we move on to our main event, we had some matches announced for next Monday night on Raw. 2 matches, as a matter of fact. We're going to have Bron Breakker go one-on-one with Kofi Kingston. And on top of that, we're also going to have a women's tag team championship match as the champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, will defend the titles against Io Sky and Kairi Sane of Damage Control. And that will go down. Those matches will both go down next week. So just wanted to let you all know that. And now we move on to our main event of the evening, the highly anticipated main event, the return match from WrestleMania, the battle for the World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, the Ring General, Gunther, defending the title against the challenger and the man who ended his epic reign as the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion all the way back in April at WrestleMania, just about 6 months to the day that it happened. That was, of course, Sami Zayn. So it was Gunther, Sami Zayn, World Heavyweight Championship on the line. And the winner of the match, 16 minutes and 40 seconds, and still the World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General, Gunther. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Gunther gets his payback for WrestleMania. He pays back Sami. He's even the score with Sami Zayn after Sami ended his record reign as Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania. But now that Gunther got that out of the way, it's now on to Saudi Arabia in a showdown with the WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, who confronted him as the show went off the air tonight.
Yeah, what was the time again?
16 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, the fight of the night. I'll give this about a 4-star match. I mean, yeah, I mean this was everything what we expected when this match was announced, and yeah, I mean, Gunther does get his retribution from WrestleMania when he had his long reign as Intercontinental Champion ended, and now with this victory, now he gets to face the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, at Crown Jewel for the first ever Crown Jewel Championship. So we'll see what happens with that. So nothing more to say. Florio, your thoughts on the main event?
Agreed. Fight of the night, no doubt about it. Gunther narrowly avoided defeat tonight on Raw, outlasting a game Sami Zayn to retain his World Heavyweight Championship. As great as the match was, it was a 4 to 4.25 star match. I do have a little constructive criticism. The match was hampered by time constraints with commercial breaks, preventing the match from ever reaching the next level until the final few minutes. Gunther threw everything at Sami, rocking him with a drop kick and downing him with a power bomb. Sami kicked out at 2, and another power bomb followed, but this time Sami caught out at 1. Champion locked in his trademark sleeper, and despite a last gasp fight from Sami, won the match via referee stoppage. And just like that, Gunther cashed his ticket to Crown Jewel and a match with WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, something that we have not seen since these two men were the final 2 men in the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble match. Gunther was number 1. Cody Rhodes was number 30, as we all know. And Cody Rhodes, of course, went on to win that Royal Rumble, the first of his back-to-back Royal Rumble match victories. So Gunther cut off a haluva kick attempt with a wicked lariat that kept the challenger down for 2 2/3. The champion added a powerbomb for another incredibly close 2 count. A defiant Sami Zayn kicked out at 1 following another powerbomb in a great hope spot. 4 to 4.25 stars. Fight of the night. No question about it. Overall, well, I'll be honest. It's the first show, so we're not gonna, dump too hard on it. But I will give this somewhere in excess of 7 to 7.5 out of 10, leaning more towards 7.5, honestly. The 2-hour format of Raw is a welcome change from the elongated, mostly unnecessary 3-hour slog we have experienced every Monday night for the last 12 plus years. With that said, it will take a bit for Triple H and the creative team to find their stride as it completely revamps the flagship and how it is presented every week. Time constraints hurt some of what they wanted to do here, and it was obvious. How the team navigates that one big change and tells as many stories involving as many stars remains to be seen. We saw the latest interaction between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, a teased heel turn for the Visionary, some quality in-ring action in the Sheamus, Pete Dunne, good old-fashioned Donnybrook, and Gunther and Sami Zayn matches, and the first real build toward Crown Jewel. It was not a perfect show, but it was a nice follow-up to Bad Blood. So this was in excess of 7 to 7.5 out of 10. So not a perfect show, but not exactly the worst either. But it is going to take some time. So we're definitely all in agreement with that. So
Yeah,
7.5 for me. So
I think that's the thing, Florio. I mean, it's going to take some time. I mean, now that we're back to the 2-hour format, which we've all been craving for. I mean, because don't get me wrong. These 3-hour shows, some of them have been really good. But as we said, some of them is trifling unnecessary, especially when you have some what is it? Some fillers that are really don't belong on the show.
And time constraints.
Yeah. And I know there's going to be some people who will be out there saying, oh, they should have stuck with the 3-hour format. Some of the matches could have been better. Some are right. Because of the Intercontinental Championship match. But again, what else would you expect for them to cram into a 2-hour show?
True.
So 7 to 7.5 for me as well. You pretty much said everything. So I don't know when Fletch is coming back.
I don't know if he will, but
I don't think he will. So
if he does, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us tomorrow night.
Yeah.
For our special Tuesday edition.
Yeah, unless something must have happened on his side.
It could have been a technical thing, or it could be something else.
Well, because remember, we had something like this before. We thought he just left for a moment, and then all of a sudden, he said, "You guys gonna have to go without me the rest of the night."
This is true. This is true. So we're definitely going to have to keep an eye out for it. But anyways, Tony's take time. And, well, I'm going to be honest with you. For at least this week only, I will not have a review of TNA Impact. Reason being is at the end of September, right around the 27th or the 28th of September, they were scheduled to have Impact TV tapings in Spartanburg, South Carolina. But Spartanburg, South Carolina, right around that time, got heavily affected by Hurricane Helene. And because of that, they had to postpone the tapings. And they did the tapings, I believe, last Wednesday and Thursday, the 2nd and the 3rd of this month. So because of that, we did not have a first run edition of TNA Impact last Thursday night. What they did instead was they had a special show, a best of show entitled The Best of Bound for Glory, which was hosted by Tom Hannafin, aka Tom Phillips, for all of you WWE folks out there. And it showcased, and it was basically a showcase of the best matches in the history of Bound for Glory, but they were mainly from like this decade, like the 2020s. I was expecting, to see some from like yesteryear, from like the late 2000s, 2010s, somewhere in that area. But so I'm not really going to do anything with that, but the Impact review should be back on next week's show. So for this week only, there will be no TNA Impact review. That'll be back next week. But for tonight, I will only have NXT Level Up. So let's not waste any more time and dive right on into that. Bear with me for a moment. Okay. We started it off with a women's match, as it was Adriana Rizzo squaring off against Lainey Reed. And Adriana Rizzo wins the match in 5 minutes and 43 seconds. Solid match. I mean, I appreciated the arm work, and Rizzo sold it well. The crowd loves Rizzo, and it makes for a fun match when she is out there. So 2.25 stars. Then we had Dante Chen squaring off against Harlem Lewis. Dante Chen wins that match in 6 minutes and 57 seconds. It was okay. Lewis joins a long list of guys to make their debut, and we will see if they follow up or if he disappears for months before being brought back out again. I understand they want to see them in front of a live crowd. Dante Chen is the right guy at this point for these newbies, as he plays the gatekeeper role well. A 1.5 star match. And that was it. This was only a 5.5 out of 10. The show is always a breeze to watch, and even more so when they go to the 2-match format. Nothing great, but I enjoyed the opener, and it's fun seeing someone make their debut, like we saw with Harlem Lewis. So 5.5 out of 10. And with that, that's already gonna put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. So we want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. As always, we will be back with you right around this time tomorrow night. It'll be a special show tomorrow night, 11 p.m. tomorrow night, over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95. A special Tuesday night edition of Wednesday Night Madness. It'll be a special Tuesday Night Madness show because of the fact that both NXT and AEW Dynamite are both going to be airing. Thing is, though, NXT will be starting at 8 o'clock on the CW, whereas AEW Dynamite will not be starting until 9 o'clock on TBS. So that's why the 11 o'clock start time. We're going to review NXT. We're going to review AEW Dynamite. And then, time permitting, we will address the AEW Wrestle Dream pay-per-view and perhaps get into this week's Thursday Night Football game on Amazon Prime Video, featuring the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. No show on Wednesday. We will then be back on Thursday night for a huge edition, a loaded edition, if you will, a smorgasbord of a week 7 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday, with 4 huge games on the docket: Penn State versus USC, Ole Miss versus LSU, and the 2 big games of the week, the double main event, the 2 biggest games of the week, the Red River rivalry, number 1 Texas versus number 18 Oklahoma. But any other week, that would be the game of the week, but not this week, because there's a game that's actually bigger than Red River. number 2, Ohio State at number 3, Oregon. And we're going to get into all of that on Thursday night. And then Friday night, it'll be the Week 6 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, as we will review, we'll recap the 49ers Seahawks game from Thursday, and then we will get into the remaining games of week number 6, headlined by what should be a very fun game between the Washington Commanders and the Baltimore Ravens. Our game of the week next week. So that's going to be cinema. I'm telling you that right now. So, and then we'll take it from there. So that is it. So until tomorrow night for our special Tuesday Night Madness show, this is Anthony Florio here for the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF, Michael Fletcher. And of course, as always, the first lady of Talking Wrestling TXN, the one and only Twisted Angel Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until tomorrow night for the special Tuesday Night Madness over on the Mesh channel of Raceway 95, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.